misma porquería.
Hey, my name is Raul Borrega. I come from the Grayton Day Labor Center. We are a labor center who basically works with non-English speaking immigrants, and we give them support and we give them jobs, and we fight for social justice.
And what do you think about this deportation threat of Trump and his party?
You know, he's a little psycho, and we're a little scared, but you know what, we're ready to fight. We're prepared to fight, and you know, we went through already in 2016, and we'll be fine. You know, we just need to fight, and that's all.
And is there support in the community to defend immigrants that may be threatened by any kind of raids?
Yes, yeah, there is plenty of support. I am part of the North Bay response team, where if there's like a nice threat, they can call, and then we can go and help. We can provide free or cheap legal resources, and so yeah, there's plenty of resources. People just need to be informed, and they shouldn't be scared.
And this is the first demonstration that's been held in California against the threat of deportation. You think there should be more? And what do you think the union should be doing?
What was the last part? I'm sorry?
What do you think the unions should be doing?
The unions, you know, I hope people understand that, you know, keeping families together is important. So my hope is that like people fight back, and you know, California is going to be good if we all come together and cooperate.
Hotch. We're here to support, to stop the mass deportation and also protect the immigrant families here in California, as well as hopefully nationwide. That's why we're here.
And there's been a long history of attacking immigrants, immigrant raids. What is that history?
Well, our ancestor of Japanese ancestry happened in World War II. We were mass incarcerated at 10 concentration camps, as well as other detentions throughout the western states. So we know what it's like to having harm done to immigrants and their families, especially when they separate families from parents and children. So we hope that this will be prevented by the legislature and Governor Newsom here in California.
And was your family affected by this?
Yes, I was. Our family had to leave our home in LA County, Lomita, and we were incarcerated at Santa Anita Racetrack. Then the 9 of us were incarcerated at Jerome and Rower, Arkansas back in the early 40s. We weren't released till about 45, 46. Unfortunately, there are others who were rounded up, mostly fathers, and were separated from their children for many years during World War II.
So it had a devastating impact on the Japanese American community. Even the Japanese Peruvians who were rounded up, you know about?
Pardon me?
Peruvian Japanese were also arrested.
Yes, that's true. They were mostly in Texas, I believe. And I think they were, like the rest of us, they were supposedly subject to prisoner exchange between Japan and the United States, which is ridiculous. Fortunately, like my brother, he was in the 442nd, the 100 Battalion, and he had his training at Shelby Camp. And before he was shipped off to Germany, he was able to visit us at Rower Camp before he was shipped to Germany.
Are you worried about fascism in this country?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with the new administration. I mean, it sounds terrible. But we'll just have to do what we can to prevent all this.
Can you talk about why you're here today?
Because I'm a human, and I believe in all human rights.
And what does ICE represent to you?
And then everybody else.
California. 100%. I'm born and raised in California. That's what we're made of. Immigrants. And That's who built California, who's building California, who keeps California running.
Do you think the purpose of this is to terrorize people? They want to terrorize immigrants? As you say, immigrants built this country.
Oh, that's all they do. That's their only plan, is just terrorize. They're just terrorists. The United States is a terrorist country.
And it seems like Democrats and Republicans are going along with this.
They're literally one and the same phase. So I'm 100% Green Party. We can't do this lesser of two evil thing anymore. They're 100% the same phase. So again, both terrorist parties.
Spoke out here and said that what's going on at these prisons, for-profit prisons, is a threat to all people, immigrants. And I mean, it seems like they're going to profit from these prisoners. Is that what was going on?
Yeah, that's exactly what is going on. There, right now, these detention centers in the current county, they're getting $106 million annually. You can only imagine. That's a lot of money, for two facilities, and they're going to do everything in their power to provide the least to people, right? With just inadequate medical care, with inadequate clothing, with inadequate food. So that's the understanding that that's for profit corporations. You know what I mean?
You think they want slave labor? That's what they really want. That's working for nothing.
That's exactly what it is. When you're working for $1, from nothing to $1 a day, to do janitorial work, that's just that's miserable wages. It's something that you see in prisons, right? You see that see people getting paid 7 cents or 12 cents an hour in prisons, and within an 8-hour shift, what does that accumulate to? Like $1? So it's the same. It's the same similar, wages.
And these companies are profiting from the imprisonment.
Yes. This is the difference is that these are detentions. These are civil matters, civil cases. Immigration is not.
But you're being punished by being in these prisons.
But being a non-U.S. citizen, that's what you're being punished for.
And there was an organization of a strike. Can you talk about that? How that happened?
Yeah. So basically, the labor strike and hunger strike that was a situation where we've taken every measure to for our elected officials to come and intervene into these facilities, because we were seeking relief, we were seeking some kind of accommodation by these abuses and mistreatments, but instead we were just basically neglected. We were being retaliated against, so it led to a hunger strike. It led to us fasting for over 21 days in these ICE detention centers. And unfortunately, I was transferred to the state of Texas.
What happened there?
I was placed.
The governor,
I was placed in solitary confinement there, and I was told that I was going to be force-fed if I didn't stop the hunger strike.
So Governor DeSantis, is that his plans? Because apparently he's offered land for mass detention facilities.
We got to understand that these are for-profit corporations, and unfortunately, people have. A lot of people have. A lot of these corporations have their hands in their pockets. You know what I mean?
So they're going to profit from the corporations.
That's all it is. It's for profit.
Is that what you think is really behind this?
That's really behind it. There's nothing to it. There's nothing more to it. It's just the only reason, and they're going to justify it by using the fear or the false fear of the undocumented, when in reality the undocumented is basically paying their taxes. The undocumented is actually doing labor. They're doing the jobs that nobody wants to do, but yet they want to demonize them or just want to subject them to have to go through an ICE detention center. So.
And the last time that Trump was in power, he attacked immigrants as well, and a lot of people were threatened, terrorized. What should people in this country do about it?
People really need to understand that they need to stop allowing these investments of our tax dollars to go into these ICE detention centers. We need to really divest from these detention centers and invest into our communities. We should not be investing $106 million into these detention centers when we have a homeless crisis in Bakersfield or in McFarland or anywhere, any town you live in. There's a homeless crisis. It makes no sense.
So they're spending money for these detention centers rather than housing for the people in these communities.
Exactly. And the only ones that are gaining is the for-profit corporations.
And you were also said you had a health problem and you were disabled as a result of that. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah, so my situation is that I suffer from repeating syndrome through the medical negligence that I suffered when I was in Texas. During my hunger strike, after my, I was, when I asked for like the essential necessities to like before the reconsumption of food, because we were fearing that we were going to be force fed. They denied me these vitamins. They denied me the vitamins that one needed before reconsumption of food. But what they did give me is they did tell me is that I had to eat two cheeseburgers and a large platter of fries after 21 days of fasting, and then after that a consecutive another heavy meal, and then for 3 meals I had to eat consecutively, and that just affected me in a way that it's what you call today, what is known as per medical is the repeating syndrome.
And you're still suffering.
I'm still suffering from it.
Is that torture, what they did to you?
It's torture. It's torture. I'm still dealing with from the physical and mental, effects of all these traumatic experiences, not only because of the medical, but as well as like the mental.
My name is Eduardo. I'm visiting from Oakland, California, all the way to SAC to represent the day laborers and domestic workers in the Bay Area, and just to speak out to make sure that this California stays a safe space for all the immigrants who have made this country and this state what it is.
And what has been the effect of the threat of deportations, mass deportations by Trump and his party?
Well, more than anything, it's just been fear. And I think once you instill fear in the community, it's hard to get rid of. But until right now, he hasn't been in office yet, so we're just waiting to see what he's actually going to do. Let's hope that he doesn't. Hopefully there's a whole bunch of challenges for him to be able to do that. But so far in the community, it's just been fear, and people are scared. Just waiting to see what happens as soon as the year starts.
And this is the first rally in California that's been held against the threat of deportations. Are there going to be other actions in the Bay Area and other communities?
Absolutely. Keep a lookout. Everyone should come out and speak out in support of our immigrant neighbors and our immigrant community. If you live in California, it's more likely than not that you know someone who's an immigrant in your personal life. So just stand up and stand out for what's right.
And are you worried about fascism in this country?
I think we're already there. I think
having a rally here.
Exactly.
We wouldn't be having a rally if there was fascism.
Well, I think it comes in phases. It's not going to be like one day to another. Definitely, as we saw with the protests with Palestine, there was definitely issues with the state repression against our freedom of speech. So I think fascism is here. It's not going to be from one day to another. It's coming step by step, and I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that it's already getting here.
And what can people do to stop it?
Speak up, do their own research, don't just follow whatever's said to you on TV. You have to understand that there are certain companies with benefits that benefit from the certain messages that come out in the media. This country is run by capitalism and by the benefit of money solely. So you have to do your own research, speak with your community, and make sure to stand up with what feels right to you and your heart.
And Governor Newsom was involved in the repression on the campuses at UCLA. There doesn't seem to be any kind of working class political alternative for people in California or nationally. What do you think about a Labor Party or some kind of political alternative?
I mean, absolutely. I think we should definitely explore different parties. The two-state party system is not working. If you ask anyone on the international, on anyone else in any other country, they would tell you that it's not working for us and it's not working for them, because as you all know, the United States affects the entire world. And definitely people need to speak up and speak out and just not follow along. We're not sheep. We don't have just two options, and you have to do what's right. And I think if you educate yourself and you start preaching to your family and those that are around you, I think change will come eventually, and start at the local level and work our way up.
And there are many unions in California, SEIU, Teamsters, UAW, that are going to be affected by this. What do you think unions should be doing? Because their members are faced with raids, arrests, and terror, really.
Yeah, I think a lot of the labor unions, specifically in the Bay Area, from what I've seen, have come together already. They're already organizing and they're already educating their members. However, there's definitely more that we can do. There's always more that we can do, but I think they're doing a good job just as of what I've seen in the Bay Area so far, just to educate their members and making sure to do the right thing.
This raids and the threats of deportations is going to be?
Oh God, it's going to impact California tremendously. We have immigrants in our family, so we're definitely here supporting it. Hopefully, they don't get deported. Yeah.
They're trying to terrorize immigrants. Why are they doing this?
Oh, God, I have no clue. I wish I knew, honestly. I have no idea why they would terrorize anyone, to be honest, let alone an immigrant. So
your family would be affected.
Absolutely, absolutely. We have immigrants in our family. His dad is a naturalized citizen, so definitely here supporting him.
Julie.
Can you talk about Project 2025?
900 pages of giving away all of our civil rights, taking away our rights that we've always known through government. It's just dismantling government and all the rights we've ever known.
And do you think it has something to do with the attack on immigrants, mass deportation?
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the things that they have in there, is doing away with immigrants, sending them out of our country, and which is stupid because we're all immigrants. We all came from immigrants.
My name is Jose Aguilar.
And you were at this rally today against deportations. How has your family been affected by deportations?
Yeah, so when I was 12, my dad was transferred over to ICE, where he was detained for 17 months. I guess that was like my first account with immigration, having faced family separation, but as someone that, you know, has immigrant family members, immigrant community members, I'm constantly being faced, you know, with the impacts of it. Yeah.
And this threat of mass deportations, is that terrorizing the community?
Definitely. I think everyone is really fearful right now. Even those like myself. I mean, I was born here, but I'm still afraid of what's to come. But also, I'm more saddened by how Trump really runs off of hatred, and he really does try to make all of us scared, and that's what he uses in his campaigns. And his plan to deport people, it's honestly devastating, but we're not gonna let it happen, at least not without a fight.
And of course, California has millions and millions of immigrant workers. What can they do to organize? Because the population of California is full of immigrants.
I think today is a really good representation of what we can be doing in these next few months and the next 4 years. I think we really need to come together as a community, not even just like migrant workers, anyone, citizens, children of immigrants. We all need to come together and use our voices to show that we need immigrants. I mean, like, who like picks our foods, like fruits and vegetables that we buy from the grocery stores? Like 99.9% of the time is going to be an immigrant. So I think it really is important that we get involved in advocacy work. And also the most important thing I believe is that we need to call in our elected officials, the people we elect. We need to call on them and make sure that they're investing our money into the right things and also properly representing our community. And in this case for California, Governor Newsom cannot represent California without also representing immigrant communities, since we are a majority. We have the biggest immigrant population in the country.
And are you a student?
Yeah, I am. I go to UC Berkeley.
And at UC Berkeley, is there any organizing? Because a lot of immigrant students at UC Berkeley.
Yeah. There hasn't been from the election, but I know that there are a lot of groups. I'm a part of a club called Frontera, so we have started discussions. We're definitely going to be working a lot more these next 4 years, but I know that there was a specific bill that they were trying to get passed within like a group, and it was for undocumented students to be able to work on campus. But Governor Newsom, he didn't pass it.
Vetoed the bill.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom, he vetoed the bill. So there is stuff going on in Berkeley, and we're going to continue to. I'm going to at least bring a lot to that school too.
You want to interview me? My name's Sue, and I'm an 83-year-old still healthcare worker, and I'm here because I think it's outrageous that we're going to be deporting folks who are making our economy, prosperous. I just cannot stomach this, so I had to show up.
And you say you're a healthcare worker. Are you in SIU?
No, but
are you in another union?
Our community health center is unionized.
What union is it?
SEIU, yeah.
Do you think the union should be involved in supporting this?
Yes, of course. And they should unionize all these immigrant workers as well.
That would help them.
I would think so. I mean, I think a living wage, worker protections. We all need that. Not just unionized people, but hopefully people will be unionized so that they will be protected.
Courtney Hansen. I'm with the California Coalition for Women Prisoners, and we're out here to make sure that we protect our immigrant siblings from the Trump administration. But even before that, we've been fighting for much needed reforms, especially for people who are impacted by the criminal legal system, especially women who serve their time and once they try to come home after their sentence get picked up by ICE and face detention and deportation and unjust, unnecessary double punishment.
Are you worried about fascism in this country?
Yes. I think, we all should be at this point, and at the same time, I think we need to look at the long arc of history all the way back to the founding of this country and really take serious what it means to grasp at the root when we're looking for solutions to our problems. A lot of the problems that we're facing in an escalating manner right now are not brand new.
Trump has promised mass deportation and detention. So with this promise, this will tear immigrant parents from citizen children, bring chaos to our neighbors, dispossess community members who have long called California home, and jeopardize public safety and trust. So people are struggling right now, and Trump is exploiting fears over economic insecurity by scapegoating our immigrant neighbors. But greedy corporations, not people seeking refuge and safety in the U.S., are responsible for raising the cost of living for everyone in our community. So boo to that. Here in California, we have enacted some important protection that help keeps families together. But in the face of Trump's deportation agenda, we need to do more. We need to do more. Some of the first Californian Trump may target includes people, including permanent residents who have served their time for conviction many decades ago and are a vital part of our communities. These community members are beloved parents, mentor, caretakers, neighbors, and community leaders. So under current practices in our state, people who serve their time and earn release from prison or jail can still be double punished by being transferred to ICE. So this is not right. This is not justice. Just like I myself am also a legal permanent resident and have made mistakes when I was young. After I served my time and transformed my life around, I was transferred over to ICE. And many others of my peers that also are in the same predicament or under the same threat as well. So we need to do more to protect all of our immigrants community.
My name is Catherine Arcade. I'm from Stockton, California. I have lived among migrants all of my life. I'm here to support open borders, no crackdown on immigration, and we must support sanctuary.
And what's behind this attack on immigrants by Trump? What are they trying to get?
I'm not sure. I think they are trying to another way of splitting the population. They're trying to make them all seem like criminals.
Who's the real criminal?
Trump and the government in general right now.
My name is Charles Joseph. I'm here to support humanity, oneness, respect. That's why I'm here. We all deserve basic respect as human beings. We have the right to freedom. We have the right to having ability to house ourselves and food to eat, basic human decency rights, and this is why I'm here.